Welcome to another video tutorial in the series How to Create an E-commerce Store with WordPress, WooCommerce, and the Canvas theme. This is part 6 of the series. Part 6 will consist of 3 videos. We'll be working on the home page today, and when I got into making the notes and everything, I just figured it would be better to break this up into 3 videos simply because there's a lot. We're going to do a lot to the home page. And so this first video, what we're going to do is we're going to set a site logo and a background. We're going to work primarily with the header part of the web page. And we're going to work with a few CSS rules: background contain, background image, and background position. So we will be working with the child theme. And I'll explain why we need to work with these CSS rules as we get to them. So if you have not created a child theme for Canvas, you need to go ahead and create one. I have created a video, I think it was video number 3, on how to create a Canvas child theme. I'll leave a link to that video, and of course, as usual, the code snippets used in this video I will provide at my website, along with the child theme as it is up to the point at the end of this video that you can download if you want to jump in right there. So again, like I said, the first video is we're going to cover the site logo and background. We're going to put a background image up in the header. The second one, we're going to set up the home page to have a slider. And the third one, we're going to, if you recall from the first video, we installed the page builder, site origin page builder. We're going to use that to customize our home page. So this will be part A, then we'll have a part B and a part C. This is all for the home page on the Canvas theme here. And then, of course, this is our child theme. And where we left off making the pages responsive. And this is what we have right now. So let's get started. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. I've uploaded my images already. We're going to go to our Canvas child theme, to the settings, and we're going to go ahead and upload the logo or install the logo. So my logo is, I believe it's 164 pixels by 50 pixels, I think. But anyhow, you click on the Canvas child theme under settings, general settings, you'll see custom logo. That's where you upload that at. Okay, it is. Let's see what, I'm just going to get the size real quick on this logo. It is 165 by 60 pixels. Okay, so that's the size I'm using. It seems to work out pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in the banners and logo group. And if you remember, we installed the media categories premium plugin a few videos back. I'll leave a link for that as well, so we can categorize our images and be able to find them easily. So once we got that set, we're going to save the changes, and we're going to go take a look at the home page. Do a refresh here, and there's our logo. And we could do a background color or a background image. I want to go ahead and do an image. I've made an image for this. If you recall, in our settings, we set our display to go full width, and full width as far as this is concerned is 1600 pixels. That's what we set it at. Full width 1600 pixels. So our background image needs to be 1600 pixels wide. And when we get in, and you can be thinking about this as well, when we get into doing a featured slider, your slider images need to be 1600 pixels wide. My particular slider images are 1600 pixels by 450 pixels. I recommend anywhere from 350 to 450 pixels in height. This background image is 1600 pixels wide, and it's 160 pixels tall. And I get that. I got this Mio toolbox. You can type in Mio toolbox in the search engine. It should come up first, and it gives you some neat little tools here: a horizontal pixel ruler, vertical pixel ruler, and a color picker. Those are the 3 main things I use it for. But I measured with the vertical ruler here to get the header area, which comes out to 130 pixels. and I went ahead and made the header image 160 pixels in height, so it'll make sure it's covered real well. So we're going to go ahead and upload that, and we're going to go to header. Again, we're in our Canvas child theme settings, header and footer. And I'm going to show you what happens initially when we just use the functions in Canvas to upload the header. And we're going to leave it at no repeat. And there's a few other options there you can play with to make some adjustments. You can go ahead and play with them. I'm not going to go over all the options. But anyhow, this is header 1600 pixels wide by 160 pixels high in height. And let me go ahead and fix that title real quick. There we go. Make sure we got that put there. And we're going to save this. And I'm going to show you what happens. I'll get this saved here first. Okay. Do a refresh. There, we got our header image, right? And watch what happens when you go to resize your browser. The header image doesn't resize. I don't know why Canvas, why Woo Themes didn't make the header image responsive. But if you look, it's not responding worth a flip. But we're going to fix that. So we're not actually going to use the theme settings feature. We're going to remove that. And we're going to save changes. And we're actually going to upload we're going to upload the header three times so we can get different sizes for different screen widths. And we're going to use some CSS and media queries to do that. So let's go look at what I actually have right now uploaded. I made the initial one is 1600 pixels by 160 pixels. And if we go down one, let's see, that's not that one. Okay. The next one I made, and what I did is I made one in Photoshop, and then I just resized that first one I made in Photoshop using the Photoshop properties to resize proportionally height and width. So the second one's coming out to 1200 by 120 pixels. And the third one's coming out to 767 pixels by 77 pixels. Those are the three images we're going to use. Now, once you have your images loaded up, notice where the URL for that image is located, because you're going to need those URLs. Okay, so we got these three images loaded up right here. These three. That one is 1200 by 120, 767 by 77, and 1600 by 160. And what we're going to do, I'm going to grab some code snippets here and we'll go over this. Well, first I want to show you something. So we're going to go ahead and put in the biggest one, the 1200 pixel one, which I have set right here. And we're going to go to, let me see, Appearance, Theme Editor, and we're going to make us a spot for the header. Remember, I like to label everything so I can find it quickly. And we got the image URL. I showed you where that was. This is the image URL for that image. And we get the ID. Let me go. I like using Chrome here. I got the ID. Show you how I got that ID real quick. Alright. In Chrome, I'm going to inspect the element. And you'll see right here, the ID is header. So we know that's the area we're dealing with. And so that's where I got the ID header for this, and we're going to put background-image :URL, put the URL in some parentheses, right? And within Canvas, it's important that you use the important rule. Get a better look at it here. The important rule to override what Canvas is trying to do. So you're going to need to use the important rule on just about everything you use for custom CSS. Not everything, but just about everything. It's going to override Canvas and make sure what you have happening happens. So let me go ahead and update that file. And let me refresh. So we put our image in with our own with CSS rather than using Canvas's background image settings. And we'll notice there's not much difference because we have the minimum width set, stuff like that. It's just not much difference. It's just still not responding. What we're going to do is we're going to use a CSS property called contain. We're also going to use no repeat. So let me go ahead and grab this. Same ID header. And we're going to put this right above everything. And I'll show you what happens when we include that in. Contain causes the image to scale fully to fit the container, but at the same time as the container shrinks, it's going to keep the image scaled as full as it can to fit the containers. In other words, it's going to respond with the container, basically. So let's refresh here. And it also shifted it a little bit because it's using the container. Remember, it was over here a little more. So you have to play with making your image to see how it's actually going to look. It's like you've seen this was number 6 photo. I had 6 tries at getting the image to come out the way I wanted it to. But now, when you shrink it, the image itself will shrink for a little bit. Now, of course, it's disappearing after when it gets below 1201 pixels. And the reason why I have it disappearing is because I'm bringing in a different image. Because, you know, they only look, you only can shrink a certain size image so much before it starts looking bad. So let's go ahead and bring in the rest of the media queries. We got this media query here is going to have a minimum width of 768 pixels, maximum width of 1200. That's when that image is going to display. And this one here is going to have a minimum width of 667 pixels, maximum width of 767 pixels. That's when it's going to display. And we're going to have a max width of 480 pixels. We're going to have no background image display. We're going to just make sure that no background image displays. We're just going to have the logo show. So, did I grab all the right ones? Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what it does. So now, remember, I just made the images, made 3 images. And let's go ahead and refresh. Well, actually, let me show you in Chrome. It'll be better in Chrome because I can get the show you up here where it's up top. You'll see in the top right corner there, it's giving you your pixel dimensions. So we said that the main URL, if it has a minimum width of 1201 pixels, or excuse me, the main background image, the 1600 pixel image, if it has a minimum width of 1200 pixels, it's going to display, and that's what it's doing right now. So 1323 pixels, 2221 goes down to 1200. Okay. And then at 1200 pixels, okay, the minimum width of 1201, maximum width of 1200 pixels, this new image comes into play. So see if we can see it change out again. You'll notice we squeeze, and it disappears. You see it popping there. That's when the images are changing out, right? When it's popping. We got 1201. We're going to go down to 768. And there it popped again. All right. So, but you notice the image crawled up and down as it's doing that, and we're going to fix that with another property. And it's the background position property of center. And we're just going to slap that right in there on all these. So we'll start with this one, put it right there, and this one, and this one. Okay, those are the three. So now let's save that. Let's refresh. And let's see what happens. So what we want to do is we want to keep it centered in its container like that. That one image is not changing out very well. So let me see here. I'm going to have to look. I'm going to inspect the element here and make sure we have the right images coming in. Okay, that's 1600. That's 12. That's the correct one. Okay. Header. There we go. Yeah, 760. Okay, so we have the right images coming in. And as we get smaller, you'll notice when I decided at this point is where it really gets to be too much for the header. I'm just going to have the logo at this point. So that's why I made. Let's make one adjustment here. We can have that stay in there for a little while longer. So let's go to our CSS, and we made that one minimum width of 660. So let's make a minimum width of, say, 500. We'll say 481. Right. Our next rule down is 480, max width 480. Okay, so 481. You want 1 pixel difference between the rules. So this controls stuff up to 480 pixels. So our next rule is going to start at 481 pixels to 767. So let's refresh. There we go. That looks even better. So we're going out. Our images are swapping out. I could probably stood to made this image a little bit taller, but I didn't do it. And so we're going in till we get to 480 pixels, and we're causing it to disappear. 480 pixels, your standard smartphone size. You know, this covers a lot of image sizes. So I want to check. I want to look at it. I like checking them out in a couple browsers, see what we got. But you see how that background position centered it up. Remember, it was pulling all the way to the top. Now we're doing center, center vertically, center horizontally. It just makes it look better. And there we go. That's why I had that. Okay. See, it looks a little different in Explorer than it does in Chrome, but that'll work. So 481 will work. So that's taking care of the logo and 3 different header images to deal with different size. 1 header image for desktops, laptops, 1 header image for tablets, 1 header images for smartphones. Just to remind you, these video series, the video series tutorials, the new ones, come out on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's -5 GMT time. And so, if this video has helped you, how about give me a like, a share, comment, leave a comment. If you want to know something, leave a comment. For really good deals on plugins for WooCommerce and WordPress, premium plugins, $10 each, are free with membership. Visit pluginforge.com. Visit skeeterz71.com for free video and web and graphic design video tutorials. You have a good day.